Hello friends, I am Dr. Deepak Garg and today we will discuss about adhesive capsulitis or frozen shoulder. So any problem, any trauma or anything that cause inflammation in the shoulder synovium that will lead to the increase in number of nerve growth factors inside the shoulder joint, and that will ultimately lead to the neoinnervation and neoangiogenesis. That means increased number of the nerve fibers and the increased number of blood vessel formation. So these nerves that are newly formed inside the shoulder joint are pain causing nerve, so that will lead to the severe pain inside the shoulder joint. So this is the pathophysiology of why there is a severe pain in adhesive capsulitis. Now there is no exact cause, no primary cause known to cause adhesive capsulitis. There are multiple associations. So female sex has a association with adhesive capsulitis. Age more than 49 years has a association. If patient has diabetes mellitus, then he has 5 times more risk of developing adhesive capsulitis as compared to the normal patients without diabetes mellitus. Patients with cervical disc disease, prolonged immobilization, hyperthyroidism, stroke, myocardial infarction, autoimmune disease, or history of trauma, these are all associations of adhesive capsulitis. Now, if the patient is having adhesive capsulitis, the most common symptom the patient will present with will be pain and limitation of movements. So the internal rotation is limited earliest, then the flexion will be limited, and then external rotation will be limited. So patient will usually present with limitations of rotations and flexion. So now to diagnose it, we can go for the X-rays. X-rays will usually be normal, and then we can go for MRI. MRI may show us contracted inferior capsule, increased blood flow to the synovium, and it will rule out other pathologies that may be cuff tear or something else. So we will rule out the other pathologies. So there are phases of frozen shoulder. We should know about all these phases. There are 3 phases: phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Phase 1 is a pain phase where patient will have severe pain, and this phase will last from weeks to months, and pain will be gradual and it will be diffuse. Patient will not be able to localize the pain, and it will be worse at night. Patient may have symptoms of sleep disturbances. Then stage 2 is stiffness, that will usually last from 4 months to 12 months, and the main problem in the stiffness phase will be the immobility. Patient will have stiff shoulder, and there will be a sharp pain at range of motion. That means the point where the motion is limited, when we will reach that point, patient will have a sharp pain. Stage 3 is a thawing phase. That means the patient will gradually start gaining the mobility, and it may be painless also, but there will be some limitation of movement, and it will usually last from weeks to months, and it may last up to 2 years also. So this is a self-limiting disease, but the course of the disease is long, so symptoms will subside automatically. So now what is the treatment? This is a self-limiting disease, so we have 3 options. We can go for conservative treatment, we can have options of injection, we can offer operative treatment. So for conservative treatment, we will do supervised physiotherapy, we can give NSAIDs. Oral steroids can also be given, but we do not recommend oral steroids. Then in the injection forms, we can go for hydrodilatation. We inject the normal saline injection inside the shoulder joint, but the results are not promising, so we do not follow the hydrodilatation. We can give intra-articular steroid injection. Yes, we do use intra-articular steroid injection because it has 2 benefits. One is it will decrease the inflammation inside the shoulder joint, and along with the steroid, we give local anesthetic also inside the shoulder joint, so that will patient's pain will go at least for some time. So in that some time, we will be able to achieve good range of motion, so that we can release the adhesions at the same time, and that will make the later course of physiotherapy and activity easy. So we follow the giving steroid in the early phase. So injection hyaluronic acid, yes, we can give it. Again, the results are not promising, so we do not follow it. Now in the operative procedures, operative only we follow only if the conservative treatment with injections fail, and we wait for at least 1 year to go for the operative procedures. And these are the options that are there in the operative. One is a closed manipulation. So in this we follow, first we will do the flexion, then extension, and then we will do the rotations. So flexion, extension, adduction, and rotation. So this is the real follow thing that we follow. Then we can go for open surgical release, and then we have also option for arthroscopic capsular release. Along with the capsule we will also release the inflamed synovium. So this was about the adhesive capsulitis, and what we follow in our practice is we go for early injection steroids intra-articular, and then we start the supervised physiotherapy including the deltoid and the rotator cuff assisted active exercises. So this was about the today's video on adhesive capsulitis. So keep learning guys. Thank you very much.